It had been 15 long years since Emily Carter had walked through the halls of Jefferson High School in Dallas, Texas. Back then, she was the quiet girl who sat in the back row, always clutching her notebook and avoiding eye contact. Her family hadn't been rich. Her clothes were second-hand, her shoes worn out, and her lunch was often a simple sandwich wrapped in foil. The popular kids called her names, whispered cruel jokes, and laughed whenever she stuttered while answering in class. She had dreamed of the day she would never have to see them again. But tonight, she was back. Not as the timid girl she once was, but as a strong, independent woman. She had worked hard, become a nurse, and built a life she was proud of. When the reunion invitation arrived, she hesitated at first, then decided it was time to face her past. Maybe people had changed. Maybe they'd grown up. The reunion was held at a luxurious hotel ballroom, lit with chandeliers and filled with laughter. Emily arrived in a simple blue dress, her hair tied neatly. The moment she walked in, a few heads turned. For a second, she thought they might welcome her warmly, but then she saw Jessica Mills, the former prom queen, smirking with her group of old friends. "Oh my God," Jessica whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Look who finally showed up. Emily Carter, still shopping from thrift stores, I see." Laughter erupted from the group. Emily's smile faltered, but she kept walking toward the refreshment table, pretending not to hear. She had dealt with worse in her life. Long nights at the hospital, emergencies that tested her strength. She could handle this. Still, every word felt like a knife. They mocked her hair, her shoes, even her posture. Some filmed her secretly, posting snippets on social media. "The nerd's still alone," one caption read. Emily's throat tightened, but she refused to let them see her tears. She tried making small talk with others. Some were kind, but most avoided her, afraid to upset the popular crowd. She sat alone at a corner table, staring at the clock, wishing she hadn't come. The music played, people danced, old friends reunited, but Emily felt invisible all over again. Then came the moment that would change everything. Jessica's voice rang through the microphone. "Let's take a group photo. Oh wait, should we include Emily? Or maybe she can take the picture for us." The laughter grew louder, echoing across the hall. Emily froze. For a moment, she wanted to disappear. The same pain she thought she had buried years ago came rushing back. And then, the doors at the end of the hall swung open. A gust of cool air swept through as everyone turned toward the sound. Gasps spread across the room when they saw who was walking in. The crowd fell silent, and Emily's eyes widened in disbelief. Every head turned as the grand doors burst open. The laughter faded into stunned silence. A group of U.S. Marines in full uniform marched in, boots striking the marble floor in unison. The golden lights of the chandelier glinted off their medals and badges. Leading them was Captain Ryan Carter, tall, sharp-eyed, and confident. Emily froze, unable to breathe. That was her younger brother, the boy she had raised after their parents passed away, the boy she had supported through every hardship. He was now a decorated Marine, and his unit had just returned from deployment. She hadn't expected to see him tonight. The bullies who had been laughing moments ago looked around nervously. Jessica blinked, her smile fading as Captain Ryan stopped in the middle of the hall, his commanding voice echoing. "Is there a problem here?" Nobody dared to answer. The room was completely still. Ryan's eyes scanned the crowd, finally landing on his sister sitting alone at the corner table. When he saw her trembling hands, his expression softened, but only for a second. Then he turned sharply toward Jessica's group. "I heard someone was disrespecting my sister," he said firmly. "The same sister who worked 2 jobs to put me through school. The same sister who sent care packages to my unit every month while we were overseas. The same sister who saved lives while you were too busy judging people." Jessica's face turned pale. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her friends looked away in shame. Ryan gestured toward his unit, and one by one the Marines lined up beside Emily. They saluted her. The crowd gasped. "Ma'am," one Marine said respectfully. "Thank you for your service, to your brother, and to this country." Tears welled in Emily's eyes. For years she had felt small, invisible, forgotten. Now the same hall that once echoed with laughter at her expense was filled with applause. Even those who had mocked her moments earlier began clapping hesitantly, then louder, until the entire ballroom was standing. Jessica lowered her head, trying to disappear in the crowd. Her once perfect confidence was gone, replaced by guilt. Emily, meanwhile, stood up slowly, her hands shaking but her heart stronger than ever. She walked to the center of the hall beside her brother. Ryan put a hand on her shoulder. "You don't need their approval," he whispered. "You already earned respect the hard way." The band began to play softly again. Emily smiled for the first time that night, a genuine, peaceful smile. People lined up to apologize, to take photos, to tell her how proud they were. But she didn't need any of that. As she hugged her brother goodbye, she whispered, "You didn't have to come." He smiled. Family always shows up when it matters most. As the Marines exited, the doors closed behind them. The room was quiet again, but this time, not from cruelty, but from awe. Emily stood tall under the chandelier's glow, no longer the shy girl they remembered, but the woman who had finally reclaimed her dignity.